Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Manny, in case you are new, or welcome back. Today I wanted to do a video talking about my financial journey and credit card journey since becoming a legal adult. I want to give a quick disclaimer that I am by no means a financial guru or anything like that. I have some moderate interest in credit cards, but I am by no means a serious credit card churner or anyone who is like really serious about getting points and like gaming the system, because I know there's a lot of people who do that. I am just a young adult girly. I like to shop, I like to go out to eat, I like to do all the things, and I just like to have credit cards that maximize the benefits that I can get back from that. Because that's the most important thing about credit cards, is being able to make money off of the money that you are spending. So I'm gonna go through all of the credit cards that I've used since I turned 19, which is the legal age that you can get a credit card, and we'll talk about the pros, the cons, my experiences with them, and anything else. So grab a drink, sit down, and we'll sit together and chat. My other disclaimer is that I am Canadian, so this will not apply to you if you're American. This will only apply to you if you're Canadian, but I hope this helps because I never really had anyone to talk to me about credit cards. I did a lot of this research by myself and also just did a lot of trial and error. I kind of just winged it sometimes and just figured it out on my own. But one thing that my mom did teach me when I turned 19 was how important it was to start building credit and getting a credit card. So that's kind of where my interest started to grow. And then I wanted to just learn more about the credit cards in our society and what we can do with them. Anyways, that's enough rambling. Let's start with my very first credit card that I got when I was 19. The very first credit card that I got, I applied on my 19th birthday because that's the earliest that you can apply, and it was the BMO Cashback Student MasterCard. This is basically the entry-level credit card that you can get. Probably every single major bank has one of these, and because I banked with BMO at the time, I decided to get the BMO card. It is free, there's no annual fee to have it, and when I first started, I had a $500 limit on it. I really did not understand credit cards at the time, and I actually did go a little bit crazy when I first got my credit card. I spent a lot of money. This is also when I started working for the very first time. I got my first part-time job in university. So that, coupled with my new credit card, I did end up spending a lot of money this first few months that I got my credit card, because I was trying to figure out what was going on. I was like, wow, it doesn't decline if I don't have enough money in the bank, like if I'm waiting for payday or anything like that. It was just didn't really make sense to me what was going on with credit cards, because before that I had my debit card and I would use that and basically just pay if I had the money to. But now that you have a credit card, you can pay even if you don't technically have the money in your bank account, which is not the best. So I did kind of naturally just go a little bit crazy in my first year of having my BMO credit card. I just sometimes spent a little bit more than I should have. I did a little bit more shopping than I should have, but I think it's like super normal when it comes to getting your first job and having your own income for the first time, and then also getting a credit card for the first time. I didn't really understand the perks of it. They do have multipliers for the BMO cashback card. I believe now it's like 3% on groceries, a certain percentage on gas. I'm gonna list all of it on the screen just because I can't remember off the top of my head and I don't want to give the wrong information. I didn't really understand the perks. I just kind of knew that at the end of the year, I could cash in like $60 to $100 of cashback rewards that would apply to my credit card statement. So I was like, basically I was making money for the last statement of the year. So I had that BMO cashback card and I used it as my primary card from April of 2019, which is when I turned 19, up until February of 2022. In between April 2019 and February 2022, I opened a new bank account with Scotiabank because my mom has a financial advisor there, and we were opening my tax-free savings account, the registered retirement savings plan, all of those savings accounts, we decided to go through a Scotiabank. And because of that, I had an account and then I started getting the newsletters. One of the newsletters that I got was that I was pre-approved for the Scotiabank Gold Amex card. This was when I started getting into a little bit more into the rewards a credit card could offer. I was watching videos online on YouTube and heard about how people could pay for travel through their credit cards and get free stuff. And I was like, what the heck? How do you do that? It didn't really seem possible with the current BMO student cashback card that I had, given that I only got like $100 back every single year in cashback rewards. So I decided to literally just try it and apply for the Scotiabank Gold Amex card. I heard lots of impressive things about Amex. Honestly, it was probably a little bit of just like hearing the name and kind of going for it and hearing good things about it. A ton of research before I applied, but I got the newsletter that I was pre-approved and also that the first year the annual fee would be waived. So I feel like I applied and then I got it. I got approved for it. At this point in 2022, I realized that cashback was not really the best reward. Everyone has their own preferences though. My mom loves having cashback as an award and she doesn't like having points, but I personally saw that points were probably the easier way for me to achieve what I wanted with my credit cards. In my mind, I'm already paying for things with my credit card, so I don't need the money back because I'm already paying for it. But I would rather be able to get free stuff from my credit card, like free travel, free material goods, stuff like that I'll talk about in a second. It just didn't make sense to me to use cashback as a reward anymore, also because the multipliers on the BMO student card were just so low. So I'm gonna put all the perks of the Scotiabank Amex Gold and the multipliers on the screen. The thing with this card though is that you earn scene points. So scene points are basically the points with Scotiabank. They're like, before, a long time ago, scene points were only used to cash in to get movies, but nowadays the scene points reward system has really upgraded. So the main rewards redemption is done through scene points, but you can also use your scene points with the Scotiabank Gold Amex card to book through Expedia and book travel through it. That was another thing that I was interested in because I was starting to learn how travel could be booked through credit cards and how we could basically maximize and get as much free stuff. I wanted to get first class seats with my credit cards and all this kind of stuff, and I was really interested, and I thought this was a good stepping stone with this credit card. Now, since I have used this card for about 2 years, 2.5 years almost, I can tell you the pros and cons that I have found with it, especially because now I use other cards. I loved this card as a beginner Amex card because it was just really straightforward and easy to use. First of all, the multipliers really match with my spending, the groceries, the gas, the subscriptions, the travel, all that stuff really matched with what I spent my money on. The other thing is that because Loblaws grocery stores now switch to scene points for rewards as well, I was actually getting 6 times points at the grocery stores, and at the time I was shopping at Safeway all the time. So I was getting 6 times points on the groceries that I was buying every single week, which is actually adds up to be a lot because you can buy a lot of stuff at Safeway that aren't technically groceries. I started buying, obviously there are small things like toothbrushes, toothpaste, but I started buying laundry detergent, and just like everything that I could, I bought at Safeway to maximize the points. 2.5 years into using the card, I was thinking about what I wanted to save up for because I didn't really know at the time. The one thing about this card that I didn't really like was that you had to book the travel through Expedia, and I didn't really trust that. I've heard many horror stories about people booking their travel through Expedia, and I just didn't want to experience that for myself. So for this particular card, I decided not to do any travel bookings with it because it just seems a little bit suspicious on my end and I didn't really like it. So I was thinking about what do I want to get with my scene points. Like I started saving a ton of them. I think in the first year I had almost 100,000 points, and then nearing the second year I was like, what do I want to get? Near the end of my undergraduate, actually wait, I think I might be messing up the timelines, but there was a point where I was graduating university soon and I realized that I had had my laptop for since the first year of my university, it was starting to slow down. It was dented, I dropped it a bunch of times, and it just wasn't doing its best. And since I was moving into adult life, I wanted a new laptop to just be able to carry me through my everyday life, whether I'm editing or just watching YouTube videos at home. And I decided to save up my scene points for a new laptop, because you can actually redeem your scene points for Apple Store gift cards, or you can also just directly shop on the Apple website and you can get a MacBook. So I think 2.5 years into using my Scotiabank Gold Amex card, I literally redeemed all my points to get this laptop for free. This is the 2023 MacBook Air with, it's like one upgraded above because I do like to edit. It's a MacBook Air, as I said. I didn't need the Pro anymore because I'm not in university, but I was so proud of myself for saving all my points and getting a free laptop essentially through the spending that I already do. So to get into the nitty gritty though, the scene points, the conversion is about 143 points per $1 of rewards. So for example, if you wanted to get $10 of a Lululemon gift card, you would have to spend 14,300 points that you have saved up. You can also use your points to redeem for groceries and stuff like that. But as again, I said, I much rather would like use my points for something to reward myself rather than getting discounts off of things that I'm already gonna buy anyways, if that makes sense. So I decided to get that laptop and I really enjoyed using the Amex card. Another great thing about it is that there are no foreign transaction fees. So when I travel into the United States, I can use my American Express and I only have to pay the exchange rate. I don't have to pay another percentage on top of that. So I really liked the card at first because I didn't have to pay the foreign transaction fee, and I thought that was so worth it because for some credit cards it can be up to like 3% of the purchase, which if you're making big purchases, that can be a lot. But I ended up realizing that you couldn't earn points on the purchases that you made outside of the country, so you were basically just using your credit card as a debit card. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Eventually, I realized that American Express is, while everyone hypes about it and everything like that, it's not the be-all and end-all. I realized that actually a lot of places don't take American Express because it is quite expensive for businesses to be able to process those credit cards. So because of that, I was on the search for a good non-Amex credit card. I didn't want to use my BMO Cashback Student MasterCard anymore because I just didn't see the rewards as worth it, but I didn't want to cancel the card because I didn't want to cancel my longest line of credit. So I was on the lookout for a new card, and that is when I came upon the CIBC Aeroplan Visa card. I just got it last year, I think in the spring of last year, and I love it. Again, for me, the biggest thing for my credit cards, I want to be able to travel with them. I don't really mind getting cash back as a reward. I would much rather be able to get free flights or upgrades or traveling. So I am an Air Canada girly. I know lots of people are very opinionated about that, but I am an Air Canada girly. I try to take Air Canada as much as possible. But the other great thing about the Aeroplan program is that you can convert those points into other airlines as well. So you don't necessarily have to take Air Canada everywhere. There are a lot of partner programs that you can redeem your Aeroplan points for. So that's why I decided to go with the CIBC Aeroplan Visa card, because in my mind, the Aeroplan points that I save up with that card don't just have to be used for Air Canada. I want to take some international trips in the future and I want to be able to use those points with other airlines. So it's very versatile and just really good and has many options for using. There's no annual fee for this credit card, which I think is awesome because you just basically get to earn Aeroplan points with your regular purchases. So this is my first go-to if a store does not accept American Express. I do want to say I do still keep my BMO Student Cashback MasterCard, as I said, because it's my longest line of credit. The other thing is also that Costco only takes MasterCards, so I do keep it for when I go to Costco. Rarely. And lastly, my final credit card upgrade. I did actually get 2 new credit cards last year, which I realized was not the best thing to just keep making credit inquiries, but it's okay because this year I haven't made any. Last year I applied for the Amex Cobalt card, which I think many people have heard about because it is always talked about online. So for Canadians, the Amex Cobalt card is a $12.99 per month credit card, so that basically adds up to about $156 per year, and I find that the perks are just great. First of all, the points multipliers are just perfect with what I spend my money on. There's groceries, restaurants, and eating out, takeout, travel like Uber, booking your flights, all this kind of stuff. You get 2 times points, and then a bunch of other multipliers that I'm going to also list on the screen. I kind of fell into this card for the hype. I just started seeing everyone around me and on social media getting this credit card, and I was like, oh my god, like you can travel with it, you can do all this stuff with it. It's so good. Another thing was that I was starting to realize that my Scotiabank Gold Amex card was not doing the best in terms of points redemptions, because as I said, it's about 143 scene points per $1, but for American Express, you can travel for 100 points is equal to $1. So it was obviously less points required to be able to redeem for $1, and that I was like, duh, I want to get that instead. There are also always a ton of offers on credit cards for your first 6 months or year that you are using it. Usually they try to get you to hit a minimum spend every single month. So one of the tips that I do have is to apply for credit cards when you are going to spend large sums of money, whether that is you're about to book a trip, whether that is you are moving, because moving can always be so expensive, or just doing something special that you're gonna spend a little bit more money. If you can foresee that, apply for a credit card right before that so you can get all the points multipliers. So the Cobalt card did have multipliers as well. I think for the first year you have to spend a minimum of a certain amount of dollars and you'll get extra 1,500 points or something like that. I'll put it on the exact offer on the screen. You also get so many good like rewards when you refer friends to get the credit card. I referred my RMT to get the credit card and I got points, and I referred another friend to get points. It's great. I think the best thing about the Amex credit card and the Amex like American Express system though is the travel portal that you can book through. So you can actually book travel directly through the American Express portal. Again, it's not the best. It made me a little suspicious at first because always booking through third parties can always be a little bit iffy at times, but I did try it a couple times in my first year of having the American Express Cobalt card and I absolutely love it. First of all, they just make it really simple for you to book travel. They have the cheapest flights, like all the options right there for you. I will say it's not as expansive as like Google, but you still get a lot of really good deals. I booked my flight to Calgary, from Vancouver to Calgary for the Stampede with my credit card. One thing about that I will say is we were booking our flights for Calgary and I decided to go through the American Express portal. I think that was my first time ever trying it, and my tickets ended up being like more than $100 cheaper than my friend, and I booked economy and she booked ultra basic, which was like the very, very lowest tier. So my friend booked through the WestJet portal and she booked ultra basic tickets, and then I booked through the American Express portal and I booked economy tickets, and my tickets were still $100 cheaper. So I could get a free carry-on, I got to pick my seat during the check-in process, and it was even cheaper than if I had booked regularly, which is crazy. Like that blew my mind, and I got 2 times points while booking that flight. So I was like, what the heck? You can also get choices to redeem your points while you're booking for travel on the American Express portal, so you can just pay with your points instead if you want to do that, which is crazy. I also did the same for my flight to San Francisco in the summer, and it was great. I just love booking travel through American Express. I also booked my trip to Kelowna on the American Express travel portal. We actually booked our hotel. So you don't just get to book flights, you can also book hotels, you can book stays, you can book rental cars. You can book so much stuff through the American Express travel portal. We ended up booking our hotel for Kelowna on the American Express travel portal, and depending on the hotel, it also depends, you can get sometimes free credit. So for Kelowna, we ended up getting $100 of free credit every single day to use at the hotel restaurant or the hotel convenience store. So we ended up buying lots of snacks, we got breakfast, and it was all on the credit. We did the same thing when we were in San Francisco. My friend booked the hotel through the American Express travel portal, and we had $100 of free credit to get to eat at the hotel restaurant, which is crazy. Like that was our late night snack. You can also get a free upgrade at check-in, so you can get a better room, a better view, a bigger room, whatever's available. It's crazy. So I love the Amex credit card, not just for the card itself, but more so for the network and the benefits that you can get through it. So I think it's just awesome. So those are the 4 credit cards that I've used. Right now I'm basically just using the Cobalt card and then my Visa card. I don't really use my Gold card anymore, the Gold Amex, unless I'm shopping at Loblaws, like a Loblaws owned grocery store. And I don't use my MasterCard unless I'm shopping at Costco. That's it. Now we talk about what I am going to do moving forward, because I think once you use up the first year reward, you can kind of move forward with the card and you don't have to use it anymore. I do think I am going to cancel my Scotiabank Gold Amex card. I just don't love the Scene Points reward anymore, and I don't really redeem for that anymore. I think I can just find something much better and at a better redemption rate on the American Express portal. So I think I'm going to cancel that, and I think I'm going to add the American Express Gold card. So have both the Cobalt and the Gold, and that is mostly just for the travel perks, because the Gold card you can get lounge access, you can get travel credit if you book through the American Express travel portal, all this stuff like that I think would be a little bit more useful than the current Scotiabank Gold Amex card that I have. So I'm excited. I think I will apply sometime next year before my Scotiabank card renews. We'll see. I haven't really thought about it yet, but it's not going to be for a couple months. And I guess the last thing to touch on is basically credit scores and what to do with your credit cards, because once you have them, it does take quite a bit of responsibility to maintain them and just use them properly. So the lay of the land is to always just spend money that you actually have in your bank account. Don't go crazy and go crazy shopping at Lululemon with money that you do not have, because the interest charges will rack up and add up on you. I have had a few months, I will be honest, where I don't pay off my credit card in full and the interest charges are just crazy. So always pay off your credit card in full and do the best you can, because those interests is how they get you. It's how they get you. Also, if having a lot of credit cards, like I've been explaining here, having that many credit cards is too overwhelming for you, just find something that works. If you don't want to be managing your credit cards and checking the portals all the time, then find something that's multifaceted and just can be used regularly. For me, I think the best starter card or the best card would be the Amex Cobalt card, because it has such good multipliers that I think apply to a lot of people, and just use one. It is quite a responsibility to manage so many of them. Sometimes I get overwhelmed as well having so many, but I have found that it works for me and I enjoy managing the credit cards and having the rewards to look at and stuff like that. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Again, I am not a financial guru. This is not financial advice. This is just what I have done and what has worked for me. My finances are going to look different than yours. Our situations can be totally different, so it might be completely different what works for me and what works for you. This is just what I've done in my life and what I will do moving forward, but just wanted to share my experience because I know that this can be a very tricky and scary topic to kind of delve into. So I love to have more discussions about it. And also, if you have tips for me, I would love to hear them, because I am also not someone who knows everything about everything. I don't know everything at all. And I always love to learn more. So if you know of a credit card that is been working well for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.